You're listening to The Ripple Affect with your hosts, Cheech and Nibby, a podcast that explores how individual change has the capacity to affect the whole.
From neuroscience to donuts, we're two sisters with a deep curiosity for ancient wisdom and modern knowledge, and we're obsessed with learning alongside you because we don't know. Let's dive in. Hey, welcome. This is Kiara Cheech, your host of the Ripple Effect podcast, and this is a special bonus episode just for the fam. In our last Sofa Series episode, The Power of Breath, we cut out this section on how OG breathwork practitioner Amy Glovin came to be a part of our lives, but we felt it was too special to leave on the cutting room floor. So as always, you're going to dive right into the conversation with your host, Isa, as she asks Amy to tell the story of how she came into our family's lives. This one's for you, fam.
Right off the bat, you made a good point that you've known me since before I was even Earthside. So for our listeners that don't know, Amy has been in my family's life for a very long time. And I was asking her before we jumped on how she even met my parents, because I didn't know that story. But do you want to start there?
Sure, absolutely. I was thinking about it this morning when I first met your mom. And many years ago, there was a local pizza house, in Redway. It was called Papa John's, I believe. And she used to work there. And I can remember going in and just being enamored with how much light this human was emitting. Her smile, the sparkle in her eyes. I witnessed a very difficult customer hassling her who was in front of me, and I marveled at how patient she was, and she was rooted in her heart, didn't buy into that sticky, yucky, finger pointing, blame energy that is just so uncomfortable when people come at you, And I just took a note of that. And then when I got up to the counter, we had a really nice interaction. And that was like my first experience with your mom. And it was so filled with radiance. It was awesome. And from there, I think I became more acquainted as I gravitated in my own healing journey. I had the privilege of meeting a Native American man named Rutherford Lone Man, who was up in the area to visit Heartwood.
Which, for people who aren't familiar, Heartwood was an institute founded up here in Northern California in Humboldt County. And if I'm not mistaken, you worked there for many years. I'm not sure if you were working there at the time, but maybe you could just do a little side note on Heartwood before we continue.
Sure. Heartwood Institute was a natural healing arts college that specialized in training massage practitioners and holistic healers. They were in business for almost 40 years, and I had the privilege of working there for almost 40 years. And I had quite an opportunity to train thousands of massage therapists and breathwork therapists, somatic therapists, and transformational therapists. So we ran quite a gamut of healing arts through the Institute, appealing to many people who had a wide variety of interests, from shiatsu to deep tissue to body-mind integrative techniques, breathwork techniques. It was all really rounded out by its commitment to honoring the divine in every human being. And it was started by a previous podcast guest of yours, your Uncle Bruce Berger, and his wife, Taylor.
I was going to say, if you're following the podcast, you may recognize the name of that institute, and one of the founders being Bruce Berger, who you can hear his interview on the Sofa series in previous episodes. So thank you, Amy, for giving that wonderful definition and well-rounded
information.
Thank you, of what was happening there over that 40-year span. And I just want to add that it's also a beautiful location, very secluded and very special land that institute was placed on. But back to your story. So you met Rutherford Lone Man.
Yeah, and he took me under his wing. He took Heartwood under his wing and shared all kinds of information, as far as helping people find their path to connecting to the source of all life. Or if you prefer, you could say their connection to God, to spirit. He shared with many of us that lived up there on the hill at Heartwood different ways of prayer and honoring the divine here on the Mother Earth. And through the Native American church was where I met your dad and got to know your mom even more so. And we really forged our friendship through that prayer and the respect of humanity through that prayer. So that's how I met your parents. They were close with Rutherford as well. And I used to go to your house with him because he wanted to go visit, his family there. And I used to run away from home when I needed a break from life, and I would run away to your house.
I love that notion of running away from home, because I have such fond memories of you coming to visit on your running aways. And you spoke about the light that my mom emitted when you first met her. And in my childhood, that's how I remember you. It was very full of life and love and smiles and laughter and just this really resilient attitude towards everything. With, when I think of the image of you, it's like that big smile, not only on your face, but in your heart and in your belly, and just, kind of a surrendering attitude towards it all, and a deep trust for everything in a really lighthearted way. So I'm glad that you would run away to our house, because you brought a lot of positivity in your running aways. I like that.
Okay, I think we did it. Listen, I don't know what we did, but we did it. Look, unattainable ideals are overrated. We're way more connected and deserving than society's false sense of separation dictates us to be. You're not just one person, you're enough. Your effort is enough, and change is possible. Question the standard that says otherwise, because what if almost is good enough? Just by tuning in, you're a part of our plan. Not in a culty way, though. We don't know how far this ripple can go, but we're going to keep showing up. And we'll never get to perfection, but we're all going to be okay if we let the process be the solution and we see the value in the attempt.
Thanks for listening to another episode of The Ripple Affect. We're looking forward to exploring a different facet of change with you next Tuesday.
DM us directly at Ripple Effect Pod on Instagram and let us know what you liked about our show or any of your own ideas. We're really excited to hear from you. We value your feedback because it helps us make the pod better, and it's our way of including you in our process.
Okay, so ratings aren't the point of why we do this. We really want to make a change in the world. But in the Matrix, there are algorithms. So yeah, every single review we get helps the ripple go farther. To help us out, please take 2 seconds, find the ratings and review section on whatever platform you're listening from, click 5 stars, wink, wink, and leave a review. We know you're busy, so just saying hello or literally hi as the review helps us hack the Matrix. We sincerely appreciate it. If you want to become officially initiated into our clan, again, not in a culty way, hit the subscribe button wherever you get your podcast. And as always, we're in it with you. Keep questioning. Stay curious. You got this, clan.
A special thank you, love, and credit to the magnificent Mia Casasanta for this beautiful music you're listening to right now.